rope, for example. So we need one of those. And some cushions, bolsters, if you have those, but just ordinary cushions will do. And there will be at one point where I option using the wheel. But don't worry if you don't have a wheel, it doesn't matter. But let's get going. Okay, so let's get down to the mat. We're going to start in Supta Baddha Konasana, which is butterfly. I'm going to do this with the strap around the feet and into the lower back. So make a big loop, big circle with your strap, just making sure it doesn't interfere with my microphone. I'm just going to move my mic quickly. There we go. So we'll bring the feet together, and you're taking the loop underneath the feet, the strap, and then work yourself down. Now check that the strap is going down the very, very bottom of the back, so across the back of the hip bones. So going down with the elbows. So you can tighten up your strap if you have an adjustable one to bring the feet a little bit closer. So make sure that strap is nicely into the, not actually in the lower back itself, but more into the hips, coming across the front of the hip bones. And then open the arms into cactus. So elbows high, and then the palms of the hands facing up. And settle down here, closing the eyes. Begin to take your attention inwards, letting go of anything that's happened up to this moment. The only thing that matters right now is being on your mat, observing your breath. So notice the gentle flow, the rhythm of the breath in and out. Allowing the abdomen to rise and fall. Chest expanding. Letting in lots of fresh new air into the body, your life force. And picture this breath entering into every cell of your body, revitalizing you, energizing you, refreshing you. In through the nose, out through the nose. Allowing your head to gently roll from side to side. Steady rolls, not fast, nice and slow. You want to hold on one side, hold on one side. Breathing into any tightness. Releasing, really letting go on the exhale. See if you can sink your lower back a little bit further into the mat. So not overarching the back. See if you can tuck your lower ribs in. Squeeze into the abdominal area. We'll squeeze and lift into the pelvic floor. It's quite tricky when the arms are like this. If the hands are reaching down to the knees, if you find that a little bit easier. Then we'll rock side to side with the hips. Five more deep breaths here. Take a deep breath in. Fill the lungs a little bit more. Open the mouth, sigh the breath out. 4 more of those. Deep breath in. One more. Lifting the head to look towards the feet. Wiggle your elbows a little further back and then coming up. So you can take your feet off your strap And then flipping yourself over, taking your blocks, taking a puppy pose. So blocks are shoulder distance apart. Going to scoop the belly up, knees hip distance apart, and then walk with blocks and hands forwards. You send your chest down towards the mat and pointing your tailbone up towards the sky, like a dog would stretch on the floor. So lowering the head between the arms into the floor, so forehead into the mat, scoop the belly up. Five more deep breaths here. See if you can push your armpits further down towards the floor and slide the shoulder blades apart. So working nicely into the shoulder joints. Keep scooping the belly up. This is your Uddiyana Bandha. Giving the pelvic floor a little squeeze and lift it while we're here. Taking a breath in to lift the chest up gently and then taking the blocks to the side. And then taking the hands forwards. If you can take the forearms to the floor and look towards your fingertips. 5 breaths. Inhaling to come up. Walk your hands back. And take a little thread the needle. So take your weight into your left hand, reach the right arm. Then exhale, thread that right hand down, driving on your right shoulder. Then walking the left arm forwards and push the left armpit down towards the floor. 3 more breaths. Inhaling to come up, switch sides. So the right hand presses down, left hand reaches up. Thread the needle through to the right. So you're on your left shoulder. And then walking the right hand forwards. Then push the right armpit down towards the floor. Steady breaths, scoop the belly up. So deep stretch into the right shoulder. And then also a little bit of stretch in the back of the left. Inhaling to come up. Walk your hands back. Do some shoulder contractions in tabletop. So we're going to push into the floor. Just 5 of those. Yourself down with your buttons. Grab your bolsters or your cushions. Now you can sit on a block for this one. It's called Upavista Konasana, just to elevate the hips if you feel you need it. But pad up in front of you, lift the arms to the sky, then reaching forwards, forwards, forwards. Elbows down, forehead to rest on the cushions. And stay here for 1 minute. Flexing the feet. Keep pushing the backs of the legs into the floor, squeeze into the thighs. See if you can bring your chest down a little bit lower. So really hinging from the hip creases, so not rounding the back, sending yourself forwards from the hips forwards, hip creases forwards first, before the head lands. Soften into the shoulders, the face, taking out any tension in the body. No tension anywhere. Just gently squeezing into the thighs, pushing the legs into the floor, flexing the feet. If you need to take a cushion away to go down a little more, if you feel you have space to do so. Really lovely stretch into the lower back. 5 more breaths. If you want to take hands to your feet, the last few breaths, head down. Another 2 breaths. Then inhale, slowly coming up, push into the hands, flipping ourselves over onto our knees. We're going to take a little frog from here. Keeping your blocks, or cushions, whatever you're using to land onto. And slide the knees apart with the feet pointing out, toes pointing out. So you're onto the knees and then lowering the chest down onto your cushions or blocks, whatever you have to land. Slide the knees a little bit further apart, then rest the head down. 1 minute here. Nice, slow, steady breaths. You can turn the palms of the hands up or take the hands into cactus. Really working into the hip joints, allowing the hips to sink towards the floor. Deep, steady breaths. So exhaling, releasing, letting go, sending the knees a little further apart. So you're flexing the feet. The feet are further out than the hips. You need to remove the cushion. If you feel you can go a little lower, you go a little lower. Do what works for you. This is your practice, your stretch, nobody else's. We're all made differently. Breathing deep into the hips, another 5 breaths. Sinking, lower down. Lower the hips, slide the legs straighter so that you can come off your knees. Then we're going to flip ourselves over and take a bridge here. So a couple of options, one with the wheel, another with the support of the block. So I'll show you the block option first. First taking the feet nice and close to the bottom, hip distance apart, rolling up onto the shoulders and then taking your block on its tallest edge, sliding the shoulder blades together, opening up the chest, hold the hands to the floor, close the eyes and take some nice steady breaths here. And take this pose, Setu Bandha Dandasana, for a minute, or take your yoga wheel under the back, drape yourself generously over your wheel, extending the legs. 1 minute. You can reach the arms back. So your wheel is at the very base of the spine, the lumbar spine. Make the breath steady, even, and deep. Soften all the muscles of the face, neck, shoulders. Breathe into any areas of tightness. So picture sending your breath there. Breathe it in. Breathe in softness, dissolve tightness. You can bend your knees if you want your wheel. Slowly coming up, having on your wheel, then the knees bent, bring the hips forwards. With great care, come off your blocks or your wheel support. Coming onto your fronts now. Take the arms wide as you lay on your front. Laying on your front, the arms stretched wide. Then roll the left shoulder into the mat, turning the left palm up. Then roll over onto your right side, taking the right knee up in a right angle like recovery, sending the left knee up and the right foot back. And then reaching back with the right hand to the left, clasping the hands together, squeezing the shoulder blades. 5 breaths. Relax the head onto the floor. Lifting the arms away from the body as much as possible. Rolling the right shoulder back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then over to the other side. Onto your front. So now you're flipping the right palm up, rolling over onto your right side. The right knee lifts. Reaching the left arm behind. Squeezing the arms away from the back. Rolling the left shoulder back and down. And punching it up, so making sure it's nice and far away from the ear. 5 more breaths. And slowly release. Onto your backs. Stretch with the strap to the legs a little bit. Take hold of your strap once more. And a bit of a hamstring stretch. So use the loop you had earlier. Extend the left leg. Ground the right. Hold the strap up nice and high with the strap so your arm is straight. Hold it here for 1 minute. Pulling as much as you can the foot towards you, but keeping the left leg glued to the floor. Keep that really like an anchor. With every exhale, feel a little softening into the hamstring, but really tight. So extend the length of your exhale now to longer than the inhale. So inhale for 4, and exhale for 8. So as you exhale for 8, feel a little bit more of a opening, more potential of stretching the hamstring, so straightening out a little bit more with that leg. Another couple of breaths. Maybe you can hold the strap a little higher. 2 more. And release. Over to the other side. 1 minute on this side. Hold that strap up nice and high. Noticing any difference left side, right side? I did squats yesterday in the gym, front squats. They were super hard. I did lunges all with weights. So this is a fantastic time to stretch the next day. DOMs haven't set in yet, but I'm sure they will, probably tomorrow. Keep that right leg really strong, like an anchor. Keeping the hips and pelvis stable, and pull the left leg down towards you. Practice inhaling for 4, exhaling for 8. Using that longer exhale to release the muscle spindles. Giving yourself permission to straighten out the leg a little bit more, because you might want to bend. Don't over Stretch the back of the knee though, it doesn't have to lock out. Don't want to lock the joints. Let's hold another 5 breaths. And you're holding the strap a little higher, and then kind of holding a big toe. 2 more big breaths. And slowly release. Wrapping your right leg over the left, hook the right foot behind the left shin. Take your arms wide and drop the knees over to the left. Look to your right hand. 5 breaths here. Keep that right shoulder glued to the floor. To center. On the inhale, switch the bind of the leg, so now it's the left leg turn on top. Keep the arms open wide, palms facing up. Put your foot around, probably close to the ankle. And then sending your knees to the right as you send your gaze to the left hand, keeping the left arm fixed, glued to the floor. 5 deep breaths. Inhale to center. Hug the knees to chest. A little rock and roll coming up. Left leg under right. Now you might want to sit on a block or a cushion for this as we come into Gomukasana. So if your hips are really tight, then elevate. Use your strap for the arms. We'll reach the right arm up. As the left hand, so hold the strap from the top. You're reaching up the strap with the left hand. If you can reach the fingertips together, clasp the fingertips together, eliminate the need for a strap. Hold it here for a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, hinge forwards from the hip creases. So you're sinking your chest onto the top knee, top leg, scooping the belly up, creating space. Let's shove the arm into the side of the head, so keeping the spine and neck straight. Five more breaths. Breathe deeply into the hips and into the shoulders and into the arms. And then inhale to lift up, release the arms. Alternate twist. Switch the legs around. So left leg goes on top this time, the right leg folds underneath. To set it up, it's good to push into the hands, to get the knees stacked one on top of the other, then sink the bottom back down. So use your strap if you need to, drop it down from above as you reach up from below with the other hand. So right hand reaches up from below, left hand is reaching down from above, clasping the fingers or using the strap in between. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to hinge and fold forwards. Noticing any difference on this side. We often don't have perfect symmetry in our hips and pelvis, so often one side feels tighter than the other, either due to a dominant, stronger side or just a twist or a torque in the hips. Five more deep breaths. Exhaling long, releasing, letting go, sinking a bit lower over the thigh. 2 more breaths. Inhaling to come up, sending the legs forwards. And depending on how flexible you are, you can take a strap around the feet for this. A forward fold. So hooking the strap around your feet. Lengthen the spine. So straight spine and then exhale. Hinging from the hip creases once more. So hinging forwards and down over the legs. So first the belly lands. Now if you don't find yourself going down that far, then use something to land onto. So take something on your knees or on the thighs. If you feel you want to push into something, if you don't arrive at the legs. Soften the face, check you're not holding tension into the shoulders. If you can reach your toes and hook the these fingers around the big toes, or wrap the hands underneath the feet. So you go and modify as you need to. Using the strap, not using the strap. Using a block even beyond the feet. If your hamstrings are feeling nice and stretchy today, you can reach beyond the feet to below the block. Scooping the belly up, engage into the abs so that you're not forcing yourself down. You're using some strength in your abdominals to hinge the top half of the body down onto the legs. Scoop the belly up, create space. Soften into the shoulders, just give them a little wiggle. Head arrives last. Down and down. Let's hold this one here for 1 whole minute. Settle down. Settle into the breath. Give yourself permission. Rest here a while. Push the backs of the legs into the floor. Give your thighs a squeeze, so squeeze into the glutes as well, into the hamstrings, into the quadriceps, and then release. If that helps you to fold down a little bit more. Long exhales. The longer we hold these stretches, the better. Five more breaths. Stretching the lower back as well as the legs. Inhale to come up gently, taking the strap away. Coming down onto your backs. Extend the legs to the sky. Flexing the feet, squeeze into the thighs. We're going to hold this for a minute. Push the backs of the shoulders into the mat, the hands pushing palms down into the floor. Really pushing, tensing actually for a moment. Squeeze into the thighs and then release. Tense, push into the floor with the hands, shoulders, lower back, thighs, squeeze, feet flex. Release. Let's do that 5 more times. So tense. Release. Tense. And release. Another 2. Squeeze everything, even scratch up the face. 1 more. Help knees to chest. Grab hold of the outer feet. Take a little happy baby. Rock side to side. Knees to chest, wrapping the arms around the shins. One last stretch before we lie down. A little pigeon. So right leg forwards. You might want to use a cushion or a block under the right hip. So give it a try with the block. You're going to be upright for a little bit, and then we're going to go forwards. So coming up onto the fingertips. Check your left leg is pointing directly behind you, hasn't gone off to the side. Hold here. Looking to that left hip flexor. 5 more breaths. And then a light touch with the fingertips. Reaching forwards. Looking over your head. Lift the right foot up a little bit higher. So your leg is more at a 90-degree angle. Space to do that for you. 5 deep breaths in. Last deep breath in right here. Pushing into the hands and then switching the legs. So the right leg is pointing back and the left leg is forwards. Take your prop for underneath the left hip, left buttock. What we do, we tend to roll over to the side and keep our hips level as possible. So you might notice the difference one side to the other. Balance of the hips, the alignment of the hips and pelvis. Checking that back foot is still pointing directly behind you. Light touch with the hands. And then 5 breaths. Hip pushing down as much as you can. And then holding down forwards, lifting the left foot up a little higher if you can. Looking deep into the left hip joint. 5 further long breaths in. Inhale to come up. Last pose, seated on your block. Feet together, eyes closed. Take your strap around your feet. So now we're in not Supta Baddha Konasana, we're in actual Baddha Konasana. Keep it a little bit shorter, a little bit tighter maybe than you were. Again, lying down, and feet a little closer. So make any adjustments you need to. Maybe leaning forwards, or opening the knees. Or sitting upright, whichever you prefer. So allowing your spine to round if you're coming forwards. Softening to the shoulders, softening to face, the neck, a little shape no, nod yes, use some circles with the nose. Check there's no tension in the body, the face. And then coming up to full seated. 5 deep breaths with the eyes closed. Keeping your focus and attention inwards just for this few moments. Keeping your present moment awareness. Your hands to your heart center. And then bring your head to heart. You're bowing your head towards your fingertips. Bring your brain and heart into coherence. The light in you, the light in you, my friend. Have a wonderful day. Remember to always stretch. Stretching the muscles is deeply relaxing and also gives you greater movability, flexibility, mobility, and great enjoyment, and also helps to prevent injuries from happening. So keeping the body strong and flexible at the same time. Have a wonderful day. See you again soon. Take care. Bye for now. Okay. You can say hello.